Hello viewers, I am Zahoor Islam and you are watching me on my YouTube channel Zahoor Islam Official. Uh, Today we will talk about the basic introduction to different dosage form. So before starting presentation on different dosage form, whenever we are going to formulate any new dosage form like tablet, capsule, ointment, cream, liniments, so these are the different procedure you will have to perform. So what is drug? So drug can be defined as these are the agents or these are the substances which are intended for the use and the diagnosis or mitigation for the treatment, cure or the prevention of a disease in human beings or animals. Any chemical entity or any chemical agents or any substance which is intended for the use of diagnostic purpose or for medication purpose or for the treatment purpose or for the cure purpose in order to prevent the disease in human beings as well as animals. Drugs can be, they are rarely administered in their original or crude forms or in any chemical entity which is in the natural state or in original state or the crude form. So crude form means the natural states of any chemical entity that may be from plants origins or from animals or from microorganisms which are the different sources, and they are administered in different dosage forms. By converting them into suitable formulation, then it become able to utilize by the patients. So I mean that drugs, they are also called the active drug substance, or in another word that is called APIs, active pharmaceutical ingredients. So drugs, these are international non-proprietary name, or you can say generic names. Now question is, the direct clinical uses of the active drug substances is rare. The question is that why we are, for example, in general uses, sometimes we can use the direct clinical uses of the active pharmaceutical ingredient or the active drug substances. They are used directly for the clinical purpose. So, first of all, the APIs, the active pharmaceutical ingredient, mean there is a problem in handling and sometimes there is a problem in accurate dosing. So, the APIs, the active pharmaceutical handling and the accurate dosing, it can be difficult or impossible, especially for the potent drug or for those, for example, which are exist in low mg or in microgram doses. So APIs handling and the accurate dosing, this is one of the big challenge. So it can be difficult or impossible. The APIs, the active pharmaceutical ingredient administration, it can be impractical or unfeasible because there are sometimes issues regarding the size of the drug, the shape of the drug, or the smell, or the physicochemical property of the active pharmaceutical ingredient. Sometimes there is a problem in a taste, and sometimes um, uh, issues about the low activity pharmacological activities. That's why the APIs administrations that can be impractical or unfeasible due to size, shape, smell or taste and low activity. As we know that some APIs, most of the APIs, active pharmaceutical ingredients, they are chemically unstable in the presence of light or moisture and oxygen. So most of the APIs, active pharmaceutical ingredients, they are not stable in ordinary condition. Like that's why we are going to maintain there is a proper section in the pharmaceutical industry for APIs, active pharmaceutical ingredient and excipient. So whenever the APIs, they are chemically unstable, for example, in the presence of light. So most of the drugs, they are in the presence of sunlight, they cause degradation. So the drug become degrade. So stability, I think this is one of the big challenge nowadays. So in order to resolve this issue, so we are going to combine the active pharmaceutical ingredient along with the excipients. the moisture content, the oxygen and light. So I think these are very, very important factors which are the contributing factor for the instability. And APIs can be degraded at the site of administration. For example, um, low pH in the stomach. So the APIs can be degraded at the site of administration, like most of the drugs which are not stable for example, in the highly acidic pH. For example, proclain, benzyl, penicillin, and most of the drugs, so they are degraded at the site of administration. And the main problem is that API is active pharmaceutical ingredient. It may cause local irritation or injury when they are present at high concentration at the site of administration. So sometimes the active pharmaceutical ingredient, it will cause the local irritation or injury. For example, if they are exist in a highest concentration at the site of administration, so you should be careful about this problem which may be happen during the co-administration of APIs. So APIs actually they are always in active form. The natural state or the administration of the active substance would mean to have no chance for modification, improvement of its pharmacokinetic profile. It would be ultimately disturbed. So the administration of the APIs would mean that there is no chance for modification. You can't improve it further of it due to its pharmacokinetic profile, like its metabolism, its absorption, excretion, and elimination. Now come towards some special terms related to this topic. Um, the main difference between drugs and excipients. Drugs, these are actually APIs, active pharmaceutical ingredients, which are the chemical compounds, and these chemical compounds they are intended for the use and diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of a disease. So there are many definitions, but here the drug mean the APIs, which is always present, it is always exist in active form. So if it is combined with the excipients, so what are excipients? Excipients are the inactive pharmaceutical preparation. So you can mention here that these are the inactive preparation ingredient or technologicals or biopharmaceuticals and or stability reasons. We are going to add these two chemical substances like diluents, like fillers we are using in different formulations, like binders, lubricants, disintegrants, like coating agents like preservatives, stabilizer, colorants, and flavoring. So all these are the excipients. Means that whenever we are going to produce any desired pharmaceutical product, we must will combine these APIs along with the excipient. Mean we will combine the active pharmaceutical, the APIs, along with the excipients. Excipient, for example, there are so many examples like binder. Tragacant, trotregacant is used as a binder. Armethyl cellulose, carboxymethyl cellulose, they are used as a binder. Now, dosage form, how the dosage form will be developed? So, for the dosage form development, you need APIs, active pharmaceutical ingredient, along with the excipient. Mean without excipient you can't formulate any dosage form, like for example, in the manufacturing of tablets, different methods which are used for the preparation of tablet, like wet granulation, dry granulation, and compression method. So these different methods they are used to formulate the any solid dosage form like tablet, solid unit dosage form like capsules. So drugs and excipients they are used.